You're sitting alone. The last message she sent was 2 days ago. No response, since. You replay the last moment you were with her. How she smiled a little longer, leaned in a little closer. You felt it. You knew she cared. So why is she now silent? Your mind says she's losing interest, but your gut, it's screaming something deeper. What if I told you her silence is not rejection, but a test? What if her distance isn't punishment but a signal? And what if your reaction right now will either destroy her attraction or make it unshakable? Comment below, I rise, not chase. That phrase will anchor your mindset for the rest of this journey. This video is for those who've ever asked, why is she ignoring me if she said she cared? You're about to learn why women withdraw when they love you and exactly what you must do. Not for manipulation, but for mastery of self, presence, and attraction. And if this message hits deep, support this channel. Not for me, but for the next man sitting in that same silence, wondering if she loves him or not. Number 1. She feels you even when you say nothing. When she goes quiet, the average man thinks communication has stopped, but nothing could be further from the truth. Silence is not absence, silence is observation. While you're checking your phone, refreshing conversations, replaying every word you sent, she's not doing any of that. She's feeling. Measuring. Noticing shifts you don't even realize you're projecting. A woman doesn't disconnect randomly, she disconnects intentionally, often without conscious planning, not because she woke up wanting distance, but because she felt a change in your center. She felt when your confidence leaned on her response, she felt when your calm started depending on her attention, she felt when your presence stopped being rooted and started reaching. And when that happens, her instincts respond before her logic ever does. You interpret silence as rejection, she experiences it as information. She's not asking, does he like me? She's asking, is he still himself without me? Most men fail here. They treat silence like danger instead of data, they react instead of regulate, they chase instead of stabilize, and every fear-based reaction confirms the one thing she hopes is not true, that the strength she felt was temporary. A woman doesn't pull away to punish you, she pulls away to see if your core collapses when pressure is applied. Attraction doesn't die in silence, it dies in panic. The man who survives this moment is not the one who explains himself better, it's the one who doesn't explain at all. Because calm is louder than reassurance, and stillness is louder than words. When she withdraws, she is listening for your emotional noise. Are you scrambling? Are you posting for attention? Are you over-texting disguised as care? Or does your energy remain unchanged? Because if your internal state stays grounded while her presence fades, something powerful happens inside her. Curiosity replaces control. Respect replaces certainty. Attraction deepens instead of dissolves. This moment, right here, is not about her behavior, it's about your nervous system, and the man who doesn't need her attention becomes the man she can't stop feeling. Number 2. Become the wall. Not the weather. When she pulls back, she's not testing your effort, she's testing your structure. Wind reacts, walls don't. Most men become emotional weather systems, unstable, reactive, unpredictable. One cold reply and their entire mood shifts. One delayed text and their confidence evaporates. That instability kills attraction faster than disinterest ever could, because a woman cannot emotionally rest inside chaos. She needs to feel that when her emotions change, you don't. Being the wall does not mean being distant, it means being anchored, rooted, composed. Unmoved by temporary emotional shifts. When she sends short replies and you over-explain, you lose ground. When she asks for space and you negotiate closeness, you lose gravity. When she tests boundaries and you bend to remain liked, you lose authority, not because she wants dominance over you, but because she wants to know if you have dominance over yourself. A man who needs constant emotional reassurance is not safe to surrender to, not safe emotionally, not safe energetically, not safe long-term. She needs to feel that when storms arrive, your feet are still planted, that when she spirals, you don't chase her downward, you remain upright. Being the wall isn't emotional coldness. It's emotional discipline. You don't suppress feeling, you don't perform indifference, You simply don't let external fluctuations control your internal state. When she says, "I need space," she isn't asking for permission, she's watching how you respond. Do you panic? Do you plead? Do you shrink? Or do you respect the space and continue building your life without interruption? The wall does not argue with the wind, it allows it to pass. And that calm presence is what creates emotional safety, not comfort, but trust, the kind of trust that allows a woman to let go of control and soften into attraction. Number 3. Her emotional chaos requires your stillness. Her emotions may arrive unannounced. Sharp, heavy, unfiltered. Your job is not to fix them, your job is to contain the space they move through. Weak men respond to emotional intensity with reaction, strong men respond with presence. When she feels overwhelmed and you escalate, you amplify instability. When she withdraws and you chase, you confirm insecurity. But when she senses that her emotions cannot shake your center, something inside her relaxes. Because she no longer feels responsible for regulating you. Most men mistake strength for control. Real strength is restraint, knowing when not to speak, knowing when not to explain, knowing when silence is leadership. Her chaos is not personal, it's instinctive, and every emotional spike is an unspoken question. If I fall apart, will you fall with me, or will you hold steady? Your calm becomes the ground she emotionally stands on. If that ground shakes, trust disappears. So you train stillness, you pause before reacting, you breathe instead of responding, you observe instead of obsess, you stop trying to earn worth and start embodying it. She isn't looking for answers, she's looking for energy, energy that doesn't fluctuate with her mood, energy that doesn't beg for validation. That's rare. And rarity is magnetic. Number 4. Let her step away, without closing the door. When she pulls back, your instincts scream to fix it, to explain, to chase, to prove. But chasing doesn't restore attraction, it exposes dependence. The moment you run after someone who is uncertain, you reveal that your confidence was conditional, and conditional confidence is fragile. You were never meant to cage her. You were meant to be the kind of man she could leave and still feel pulled toward. A woman doesn't need a man who clings. She needs a man who chooses her, without needing her. So when she asks for time, give it. When she expresses doubt, allow it. When distance appears, meet it with dignity. Not as a strategy, as a truth. Your life does not pause because someone steps back. Your identity does not shrink because attention fades. While others flood her inbox, you rise silently, you sharpen, you focus, you build. Your absence becomes a statement, not punishment, but self-respect. Let her walk, because it is in space that reflection begins. And when she remembers the man who didn't panic, didn't beg, didn't collapse, that memory stays. She won't remember the man who tried harder, she will remember the man who stood taller. Number 5. Stillness is not inaction, it's authority. When she runs, most men chase. They think motion equals leadership, but leadership is direction, not speed. Stillness requires trust, in yourself, in your path, in your worth without approval. The man who remains consistent while she becomes inconsistent doesn't trigger fear, he triggers curiosity. She starts asking questions silently. Why didn't he react? Why didn't he pursue? Why does his energy feel unchanged? And curiosity is attraction. Reawakening. If your peace collapses when her presence fades, you were never peaceful, you were dependent. Stillness means you don't mirror withdrawal, you don't match chaos. You don't play emotional ping pong, you stay centered, you build discipline, you structure your days, you choose discomfort over distraction. Every urge to react becomes fuel for growth. Stillness is not weakness, it is signal, and very few men can hold it. Number 6. Become the man she cannot shake. When a woman pulls back, what she's really doing beneath the surface is measuring the weight of your identity, not your looks, not your charm, not how smooth your words sound. She's testing whether your sense of self is solid or assembled. Most men don't fail because they're weak, they fail because their strength is borrowed from attention, borrowed from validation. Borrowed from how a woman feels about them in that moment, and the moment that attention disappears, so does their certainty. That's what she feels. A man who negotiates attraction, explains his value, or reacts emotionally when her energy shifts is silently telling her, without you, I am less. And desire cannot survive that imbalance. A woman does not stay because you reassure her, She stays because your presence doesn't flinch. She stays because when she withdraws, you don't collapse, you elevate, you stop managing her perception and start enforcing your standard. You don't ask why she's distant, you ask yourself whether your life is still moving forward with force, because the man who keeps rising while she hesitates becomes unforgettable, not loud, not dramatic, unavoidable, when you let go without resentment, when you grow without announcing it, when you lead yourself instead of chasing clarity from her. Something breaks inside her expectations. She's used to men panicking. She's used to men folding, she's used to men needing her more than their own direction, but when you don't follow the script she's seen 100 times, her emotional compass spins. She can't shake you, because you've already made peace with solitude, you've committed to your mission. You've built a life where a woman is a privilege, not a requirement, and that separation, that internal independence, is what makes her feel small in the best and worst way. She feels your absence louder than your presence ever spoke, while she's checking your social media, while she's wondering why you didn't reach out, while her phone stays quiet and her certainty starts slipping. That's when the shift happens. Her test turns into confusion. Her confusion turns into curiosity. And curiosity is the doorway back, not because you chased, but because you became more rooted in her absence. That's the man she can't shake. Number 7. Silence is the forge that builds you. Silence is not empty, it's a training ground. Every moment you would have spent texting, explaining, worrying, now becomes fuel, fuel for your body, fuel for your mind, fuel for your craft. Most men waste silence trying to escape it, they numb it, they fill it, they run from it. Strong men use it, they train harder, they think clearer, they cut excuses, they sharpen standards. Rejection becomes resistance. Distance becomes discipline, loss becomes leverage. You don't grow when you're validated, you grow when you're alone with your thoughts and still choose direction. That's why silence hurts weak men, and forges strong ones. While she's pulling away to see if you'll break, you're rebuilding at a level she doesn't have access to anymore, and that's where power forms. Not power over her, power over yourself. A man forged in silence doesn't beg for attention, he commands presence without asking. Number 8. Why she ignores you even when she feels deeply. Here's the truth most men never understand: a woman can love deeply, and still go quiet, not because she wants to hurt you, not because she stopped caring, but because love, for her, requires safety, and safety does not mean comfort, it means leadership. She needs to know that if she gives her heart fully, it won't be placed in hands that tremble. So she tests, she withdraws, she watches, she measures, she asks questions without speaking them. If I stop reassuring him, does he collapse? If I stop chasing, does he chase me? If I stop showing up, does he still stand? Her silence is not abandonment, it's assessment, and the man who panics answers her question instantly, without her ever asking it out loud. He shows her that she was the foundation of his worth, not the reward for it, and that kills trust at the root. Think about it honestly. If you had a daughter, would you want her to give her heart to a man who needs constant reassurance to feel whole, or to a man who is steady, grounded, and unmoved? That's the man she's searching for. That's why she goes quiet, to see if you are him. Number 9. Emotional leadership is what she's craving. She doesn't want perfection, she wants containment. A man who doesn't react emotionally, a man who doesn't escalate chaos, a man who doesn't need her to regulate his inner world. That's emotional leadership, and it's rare. Most people react to every trigger, they speak to fix, they chase to soothe, they explain to survive. You don't, you observe, you pause. You respond with intention, or not at all. Your calm becomes the ground she stands on emotionally, and when that ground is solid, something inside her relaxes. That's when she softens, that's when attraction deepens, that's when trust forms, not because you controlled her, but because you mastered you. Number 10. If she returns, she must meet a higher version. Here's the final shift: if she comes back, she does not come back to the same man, she meets someone sharper, more disciplined, more focused, more self-directed, someone who didn't pause his life waiting, someone who didn't spiral in silence, someone who used the gap to grow. And if she doesn't return, you still win, because you didn't build yourself for her, you built yourself for your future, a future that demands strength, not dependency, presence, not panic, leadership, not need. You don't lose a woman by letting her go, you lose her when you abandon yourself trying to keep her, so let silence shape you, let distance sharpen you, let uncertainty reveal who you really are. Ask yourself this, honestly. Who are you when no one is watching? Who are you when the person you care about pulls away? Do you collapse? Or do you rise? The man who rises in silence becomes dangerous in the best way, unshakable, unreplaceable, unforgettable. Support this message not just by liking or subscribing, but by living it. Carry this discipline into your training, into your work, into your craft, and comment below, I build myself in the silence. Because while others fold there, you are forged. Fire.